Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So today, coming back with my last little play with the free kit from magazine 81, the animal antics kit, and this time I'm going to have a play with the acetates. So let me just pop that out of the way. It was just so you could see them a little easier. Now I have done a little bit of work beforehand in die cutting, just in order to be able to hide some of these pieces. So what I've done is that I've taken a piece of adorable scoreable, I've cut 3 circles out, and then I've embossed it with that dotty dots design. I'm going to use that, and then with those same dies what I've done is just gone up 2 sizes extra, and I'll just cut out these little pretty little frames in a green. That one's there, that one's there, like so. So they are going to go onto there. I've already pre-folded a 6x6 card, and that's where we're at really. Okay, so let's get started. So let's pop those to the side because that's the finishing touches, and I've left those plain, but you could equally go in and emboss those if you wanted to. Okay, so for this first card what I'm doing is leaving them as they are, so no colouring, just as they are. So I'm going to start with a piece of gold mirror. I'm going to start doing my layers. So I'm going to go at 2 notches under the 6, and again 2 notches under the 6, and then I've already what would I say? No, it's not what I was going to say. The piece that I've die cut that out from, that is a 5 3/4 square. So I'm just going to do this one. I'm going to go just a little bit under that because this is going to be in the background. I didn't want, so I'm just going about 2 notches under 5 3/4. So I didn't want those so there's a bit of dirt on there, or a bit of rubbiness. I didn't want the animals to be on the gold background, so that's why I've just taken a bit of that insert paper and just popped it behind, and I've chosen the green, and I'm hoping when I put these little frames on it's really going to pick that out a bit better. Okay, so let's pop that out of the way and we can pop that down. So I'm going to start by making sure my card is the right way up and burnishing it down. And then because it's we're doing this bit first, I'm going to be using my Clout All Purpose and my Clout Tacky Glue. So we'll get this layer on first of all, and our green piece, our backing piece. And you could go with something a lot less busy, you know, if you've got any of the duo design pads, you know, there's some of those have got quite muted patterns in, and you might find that works better for you. But you know, colour choice is just all personal preference really, isn't it? Okay, so for this one what I'm going to do is just pop some all-purpose all over and some dots in the corner. Just going to have it going that way. I think it hides those, that grubbiness. Just going to double check. Yeah, it does. Okay, so I can pop that down, pop that to the side. Now for these circles, I was going to have the giraffe, so I'm going to pop out the giraffe. I was going to have our zebra, and you could do more circles if you wanted to, or less. And I think we'll go with the monkey. I could go with the lion, but I just keep thinking he might try and eat them. So let's do those. So he's obviously going to be the smaller one. I'm just making sure I've got silver side up because I want the gold on the outside. and then this is the next size, and this one is the bigger one. Or is it the other way around? Let's just double check. No, I was right. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just move those out of the way a second. I'm going to bring in some red liner tape, and I'm going to need my scissors. And I'm just going to go around the outside of these circles just to stick this acetate down. Just want it to be as close to the edge as I can get. I'm not going to use this for a shaker, this one, although you quite easily could. What I would say is obviously you'd still have to stick this acetate on, because you wouldn't want the whatever you're putting in there to come out. But it might be worth doing individual ones. So maybe, so that bit's come off already. So let's go ahead and pop this one on. It would be worth cutting little circles of acetate. So you would put your clear tape on, pop your piece on, put foam tape around the edges, put your sequins in, and then put a little acetate or a piece of card behind that, so that they didn't. So he is, I have to check again now. It's not that one, it's going to be that one, isn't it? Yeah. I just need to make sure I'm getting them the right way up. Gold side outwards, silver side towards me. Just pop that on, give them a good press down. And we're just going to keep going with these. Now I am going to raise this up with some foam squares, because I want that shadow from these, because I'm not colouring these ones. I have experimented with lots of different things. The second card I'm doing, you'll see it's got glitter on it, got a little glittery duck, which was what I wanted to do when I first saw that little duck. You know, I've used glue onto the back of them, which is what I've done with that, and used glitter. I put glue onto the back, painted it thin, put mica or similar sort of things on. Pretty much anything that's going to stick to glue. I've used acrylic pens, I've used alcohol pens with them. I have to be honest, I'm not 100% satisfied with the colouring you get, because it is quite streaky. Let me just put our little monkey in. But I think with the acrylic paints and like these kind of paints, the distress paint, the Tim Holtz one, you can sort of, once it's dry, go over it a little bit, but you just have to be a little bit careful. Okay, so we're just working our way around this last one. And I do want there to be a good seal, but I'm not. It's really just to make sure that the acetate is on there, so I don't have to be as careful as I am being, really. But just a bit, that bit, and there. Okay, so let's just make sure we've got him gold side out, and pop on. So this is what we've got on the other side now. You can see we've got our little gold animals. Okay, so next I'm going to come in with, do I want to use this one, or do I want to use, I've got another one here. So this is not too thick, it's wider than that one. This one's probably about 2 millimeters. So we are going to get a nice amount of shadow. And what I'm going to do is just go around the outside with it. Should be able to get it at the top, I think. Let's try that side first of all. And what I'm going to do is just take a length. I'm going to cut it in half. Let's go first of all. We can always patch it up if we need to. So you can see how it sticks to your scissors. There's that there. Okay, so this is going to come on over and give us those lovely shadows onto that background. I actually think what I'm going to do is just take maybe a couple of patches here just to give it a bit of extra stability. I think that's going to be fine. These are quite old, these rolls, so I'm hoping it's going to peel off quite nicely. I've got my special days today, so I'm going to start working on that after this video. And like I said before, I'm going to work through that whole kit, so all 12 of those. Give you a couple of ideas for each, but you won't get too bored because there will be some other exciting things coming up. Okay, one left to go. Stop putting your finger in it, that might help. Okay, so it's difficult to find a place to hold now, but I am going to come in with tacky glue, a nice amount on here, because if one bit goes down we've kind of been scuppered. So I'm trying not to touch the acetate windows too much because I don't want a fingerprint to be showing up after the fact. It might be quite awful. Okay, so we can turn this over now. I'm just going to pop my head over, so apologies if you see my grey hair. There we go, we've got our piece there. So that's looking quite nice. So let's bring it to life a little bit more. So I'm just going to use my tacky glue and pop these round. Ooh, look, they're going on some kind of sea journey, don't they? Little portholes. Maybe this is like Noah's Ark, but the children's version. That one goes there. Yeah, that one goes there. Now if you wanted to, you don't have to do these all in the green. You could really go to town with your sort of primary colours or your pastel colours, make it quite, you know, with your pinks and your yellows and greens, purples, that sort of thing. Whatever you feel you need to do or you want to do. Now what I am going to do is just take my little bit of sentiments, and I'm just going to pop that on and let that dry for a second. Now the other thing I found you can do with these, and I think I'm going to go with the Me to You, and I'm going to bring in this duo design pad. And I wanted the green one, I think I wanted. Oh, that blue's nice there. No, let's go with green. Keep with the green and the yellow. There we go. I'm not going to take the whole thing because I really only want a little piece. So I'll just cut that out. Check hands of glue a little bit. Okay, so if I bring in a little paintbrush, so I'm going to put it on the reverse side. So at the moment it's saying Ot M Oi, and I'm going to pop. Actually, we need a little bit of paper. Have I got let's use. No, I don't use that because it's too nice. Let's use a little bit of white card. Because there is loads of that, so I'm just going to pop them there. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue, and then I'm just going to paste it all over. I want it to be nice and even. Hoping that too much is not coming off where I've got my finger. And then I'm going to pop that down. And then if I can pick it up without it sticking to the cardstock, there we go. So now I just need to cut around that. Now it does go a little darker because of the glue, but the one that I did earlier, it stays that colour. So I think that's that one. There you can see. So it's a pretty good finish. It's no worse than colouring it in with your alcohol markers, I guess. So let's just go around and try and keep this to the actual shape. If it's worse comes to worse, I might just pop it through a die cutting machine. I might have to. My cutting skills are not great for circles. That's not looking great because my skills at cutting are not great. Okay, let's just try trimming that there. So all I'm doing is just going up to the line of the plastic, so I'm not cutting into the plastic at all. At least I'm trying not to. What you might be able to do is just flatten out any bits that are a little bit rough with your fingers. You probably could go round with a nail file, but now that's looking a little better. A little bit there. And then we've got a little piece sticking out. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now we can come back to our card. Pop that in. And I'm going to use, probably just going to use a 1mm foam pad. Just wondering if I have got, I used to have a little nail file here for doing edges. Let's see, it disappeared. Because I'm looking at it from the back, maybe it just looks worse from the back. It looks alright from the front, so. Okay, I'm going to stop obsessing about it, apologies. And then I'm going to come in, I think I'm going to have this as my fourth circle there. You will need to wash that off pretty quickly in water if you want to use that brush again, but because this tacky glue is water based, as long as you get that wash straight away, it won't ruin your brush. Okay, and then lastly we need some gems. Now, some green ones. Those ones quite cool. I've got those tiny ones there. Or could go with gold, but I think I'm going to go with these little pastel ones and just have a few of these. So let's grab my knife. I think these ones came from Crafter's Companion. I think they were Violet Studios ones. So I'm just going to pop, and these are like an enamel dot. You could always use your tonic sort of Nuvo drops and things, can't you? Although you have to be careful on Adorable Scoreable because it is a kind of a slippy surface. Sometimes your dot can spread when you're using Nuvo drops. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, so I've got 7 there, and then I'm just going to pop 1 on each corner. Apologies if you can hear my tummy talking. It's not hungry. There we go. Okay, so there's just an idea. I mean, you can take this further by cutting this out of glitter card, but you've just got that nice amount, a little bit of shadow behind there. It's quite a fresh spring card. I really like that, and that looks nice on there as well. So that is card number 1, and I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, again, I've already done a little bit of preparation because the actual card itself is going to take a bit of time to make. So this is my little duck that I glittered. So I just painted the glue on nice and thin. I did a little bit of yellow for his beak and some white sort of iridescent. I actually think it was this glamour dust that I used for his body. Obviously doing it on the silver side, and then you still have his eyes on the other. So I've cut a circle just slightly larger than my acetate, and then I've cut a frame again. So this bit I'm going to make into the acetate. So this is going to be like an Easter card, but it's going to be really sort of understated. So again, making sure I've got those little gold pieces to the front, and then I'm just going to pop that on. Otherwise you're not going to have his eyes on the front. So there you can see, oh, there on the front, little bits of card. Let me just get rid of that. Bits of fluff. Okay, so that is going to be the front. Now what I'm going to do now is with this thinner foam, I'm going to go, actually what I'm going to do is, let's take a piece that I know is going to be too long, put that to the side, and then if I take the backing off both sides, it's going to become a lot more flexible for me to get around these corners. So there we go. So now I'm just going to go in the middle of there. Actually we'll turn it around, seeing as that's being a bit stickier. And just making sure I'm not going anywhere where the acetate is, you know, sort of where you can see, and just stay in within that frame. It doesn't particularly have to be so neat, it just has to be, hide it, you know, want to hide it all, hide all those workings. And the most important thing of all is to make sure that there are no gaps. So what I want to do is just make sure, just put my other scissors there. So just because that's gone over the top, I don't want that to affect the look of the thing. So, and my sequins are quite big. Now what I should say I also did with this is, once it was all dry, I went over the back of it again with a thin coat of glue, because what I am going to do is pop some sequins in. I think I'll go with the Go with the pink. What colour did I do that? Yellow and blue. Yeah, I'll go with the pink. And I'm going to pop these in. These actually I got from my Spellbinders advent calendar. So I'm just going to pop some in, not too many, I don't want it to be too round. That should be fine. Also don't want to lose any because I don't have many sequins like this. I do have a big bag of silver ones which I got from Crafter's Companion, but it's quite difficult to get those over here. Now what I am going to do is just go around the outside of here because this didn't seem that sticky to me, and I might just use that brush just to even that out, and then I'll just nip off and give that a wash. So I'm just going to pop that all over just to make sure that my backing does stick to it. And then I've got this piece here, it should be exactly the same size. Obviously we can give it a little bit of a wiggle, and then once that dries we're going to be able to shape that. So that is the decorative element of our card. Okay, so let's just move those out of the way a second. I've just put the lid on there. So this is going to be quite a minimalist card. There's no gold, I'm not putting anything else on it, it's merely colours. So I've got a piece of 6x12. I have scored it at the 6-inch mark. And then what I'm going to do is pop a little gentle pencil mark at the 3-inch mark, and then just very gently mark that on. So that will be rubbed out at the end. Okay, so we're going to bring in our trimmer. And what I'm going to do is put this up to the 1/2-inch mark, and I'm going to cut all the way up to that line, or the 9 inches. And then I'm going to move that down to the 1 inch. Cut back. At this point I'm going to have to come around the other side. So we're going to go to 1.5. Making sure that is nice and straight. You can use these lines on your board just to make sure that you have got it straight, and then come in all the way down to that 9 inch or that pencil mark again. You could do if you had it on the right side. Never mind. Good idea that we know where 9 inches is. Okay, never mind. So you're going to keep going. Every 1/2 inch we're going to cut from the top all the way down to that 9, and then back again. And this is going to make a kind of really great Eastery card. This is what I'm thinking of with this sort of card at the minute. But it could be sort of summery, picnicky type, you know, because we're going to do a bit of paper weaving. So keep going all the way to the end of the card, and it should work out that you're going to have to cut a little bit off your card. Your card will end up at 5.5. The only way to avoid that really would be if you started at maybe 3/4 inch might work. But I just felt it was better just to cut that piece off. Okay, the last one. Okay, so I'm pop that down in a second. We will need that back, but I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to take my knife. You can do it on the trimmer if you're confident. Just pop that there. I'm just going to cut every other one away. come away, and I'll cut that down to neaten that up in a second. So those should all pop out, and you're going to have a piece of card that looks quite strange. I need to go a bit further. Isn't quite brave enough there. So you're going to have a card, obviously I scored it there, that's going to look like so. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, just because I've got that there and I've done it on the wrong side, I'm just going to rub that line away. If you're going to put an insert, this piece here is going to be where you're going to put your insert. Okay, next thing, put that out of the way. I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to bring this bit in. Actually, what I'll do first of all is just take that piece off that end. So it will still go in a 6x6 envelope, because obviously it's going to be 6 inches on one side. But it just is easier to do it that way for me. Okay, so these are 1/2 inch, and what we want to do is cut them to 1/4 inch. So this is going to be quite time consuming, but it just saves wasting paper. If you prefer, you could get just a big piece of paper and just cut every 1/4 inch. But I found this was quite easy with a bit of tape, just lining it up with the lines on my trimmer and then whipping down. And I did find when I did one of these the other day, I did need an extra 2, so I will grab a bit of paper and do that as well. I don't know if it will work out the same on this one, but it's best to be prepared. So I'm just using my tape to hold that in position. I'm going to keep it as straight as possible because I want them all to be nice and even. Let's grab another one here. And like I say, just use your trimmer, let your trimmer help you with these. Okay. It's not really going to make a difference if one is a little bit off, but you know, you'll probably see it, but on the whole scheme of things it's really not going to matter. Okay, so those are there. Now I just need some more, so I've got a piece here. So just, they're not going to be as long obviously, but we're going to trim them down anyway. And I think they should still fit. There we go, so we've got 2 there. Okay, now the first one is probably the hardest. Alright, let's get these burnished down so they stay down nicely. Okay, so let's start with one of these, and I'm going to start at the end that hasn't got a I'm going to drop it on the floor first. Okay, bear with me a second. Oh, that's hard. Okay, so obviously I've got a bit of a fold on from the card, so I'm going to start at the other end, so I want the length of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tacky glue, and I'm going to pop a little bit on this end. I'm going to pop that behind. And then we're just going to pop these under, over and over. We'll end on and over. So if I lift that up slightly, pop that down. These ones here we can pop a bit of glue on as well. I can always do the ones underneath later on if I need to, but I think once we start to get the other bits in, we're probably not going to need to. Now, because we've got those in there, now we're going to come the opposite way. So from this one, we're going to go over the top, under, over, under, and over, and then I can bring that down. What I can do is just pop a little bit of glue there, bring that one down, just want that to be butted right up to that next one and along like so. I'm not going to worry about gluing that one underneath there because I can do that at the end. And then we're going to do it the same as the other one. So this one's going to be over the top, under, over, under, and under. And I'm just going to pop it down, just make sure it's butted right up to that edge. You can see the pattern starting to come together now. And basically we're going to do this paper weaving until we reach this bit here that we're hiding, so it will look like there's a basket with some pieces at the top. Okay, so that one's going to go down, smush it down. So just want to keep them butted right up nice and tightly. Again, nice and tight. And because we haven't glued anything down yet, they do move a little bit, so you can wiggle them until you're happy with them. Again, down and along. Glue on the hands. This one's going to be over, under, over, under. You can see why this would look great for Easter. I mean, it would also look great if you are, you know, cottage garden-y type things, because you could have a hedgehogs and plant pots, you know, sort of, and do it in sort of craft card as well. You know, all those different colours could come in. And just moving that back. It's not taking as long as I thought it would do, but there we go. So and you can see it all coming together rather nicely. If you wanted to, you could do these all rainbow colours, you know, as well. There's all those sort of things that you can do with it as well. Okay, and then actually I might get away with this being the last one. So we're going to come under, over, under, over. Let's see what it looks like before we can see that top piece. No, I think we're good. Okay, so what we're going to do is just move that back straight. Okay, now what I can do is just carefully lift all these top ones up and I can pop a line of glue under them all, put them down, and then if we go on the inside, we can just do them one by one on here. just holding them down while your glue goes off. And you could, if you could get it in there, you could possibly use your runner. That's that one. I do need to do those ones on the front, but these ones, let's just lift those up. Like I say, we'll trim all these down in a second. Just put that down. Press. Then we've just got these ones here to do. I'm not going to worry about gluing any on the inside because these ones are going to hold it nice and still. And you can see how sturdy it was even without the gluing. It was sort of staying in place, so it's not really something that you really have to worry about. Maybe it's Henry. Alright, let's get rid of those because we're not going to use those. And then I'm going to bring my big scissors in. I'm going to turn it over, and then just from the back, just going to tidy all of those up. And they can now go in the bin. So there's literally no waste on this card. You're just using what you've taken off, but you get that lovely little basket weave effect. Now the other thing I did beforehand was Hunkydory had last year a Happy Easter die, which I think went on clearance, so I don't know if they still have it. I'm hoping they do, because obviously Easter's coming round again. It might just be that it was because Easter was over and they were trying to reduce the quantities or whatever, I don't know. But I've cut it in the blue, the same blue I did that background in. There we go, there's one. There's two. I'm thinking have a Happy Easter at the bottom. Now I'm really liking that gold. I don't know if I want this blue on it, but we will see. We'll see what it looks like and then we'll make up our mind. But yeah, so I don't know if that will still be there. I'm hoping that they'll have it or something new for this year. It's a nice one. It has got a sort of shadow layer as well, but I'm not using that today. Like I said, with this card, it's going to be really quite clean and simple, really. So we've got Happy, and let's just poke out our A. Now let's see, do I want that blue? No, I don't. What I might do is layer it on top just to give it a bit of strength and a bit of height. So what I'm going to do is just pop some of this glue on the back of my hand. Now I've used this glue many times on the back of my hand. I've never had a problem with it. So just be aware, if you have got quite sensitive skin, be a little bit careful. And the only reason why I'm using it over this beautiful cardstock, I wouldn't normally, but I just know that I'm going to lose these little bits. I'll lose them anyway, so I might as well use it in this way rather than cutting something out, some spare bit of white. And I'm literally just going over the top, straight over the top. I'm not shadowing it, not doing anything like that. Now if I bring in a tissue just to wipe off that foil. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to have, I think, should we have this on this side? And then our little shaker duck up here, or we can bring him down a little. No, I think I like him up there. Okay, and then who's there? Just play with a few little layouts, bear with me. I like them side by side. I also like my duck to the left, so they're going to have to go that side. Okay, so for this piece here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use my tacky glue. And I'm just going to pop a little bit there, and then some there and there. And one of them did fall out, so I'm hoping that's not leaking, but I will check that at the end. Might just be one that's escaped. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. It is a little bit stronger now, so it would be really great with your dotty tape pen. Oops. Stay there. Just give it a really good coating of the glue. And the happy is just to that little one there, so let's just give that a little press down. Okay, just checking that that's sealed up quite nice. Could do a good press down, so I will put something on it afterwards just to make sure. Well, that could just go a little bit around. Okay, so now again I'm going to come in with some gems. I think I'm going to come in with these little enamel dots again. So I'm going to go with these yellow ones. So I'm just going to pop one, two, muck there, I don't know what that is. I have to take that one off and put another one on. Looks like there's a bit of fluff under it or something. Don't know what's going on with that one either. Come on, let's get you. You are there. Let's take you, we'll pop you over there and bring your friend. There we go, so we've got those three. I'm going to pop one and two down there, so really simple. There we go. And that is going to be my finished card. As you can see, it stands really nicely. It is lighter weight, but by the time you put an insert on the inside, that's going to be a really nice and strong. But that is our little shaker in a basket, or on a basket. And then I'm just going to bring in that first card. So those are my two ideas for using the acetate. And like I say, next time I'm going to be coming back starting with those special days. I'm working my way through those. Yeah, so that's going to start from next time. There may be some, well, there will be a couple of additional videos coming in next week. Maybe starting over the weekend. I'm not sure on the exact date or what. I know the date, just not the day. And my watch is broken, so I don't know where I am really. But they will be popping up, so keep an eye out for those. They will be quite exciting and a different type of video for me. But now I'll let me tell you more about that when when you get to see them. I've got to do the editing on them yet. But like I say, thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.